Hello. Hello, 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 hello. Okay, I'm here. All right. So the energy of today, holy cow. Today is Venus Friday, which is all about what we love and value. But the energy today uh feels like being woken up by someone shaking you. The energy is very volatile. It's very aggressive. It's very me, 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 me. So take care, guys, especially when like driving and stuff like this, because I don't know what exactly is going on. I feel like something is really just coming to a tipping point, I guess you could say. And it could actually be today, right? You know, I keep a good amount of knowledge of kind of what's going on out there or whatever. But I think the biggest thing to remember is that, or the biggest question to ask yourself is, where does my power come from? I want you to think about that. Where does your power come from? Because from the moment that we're born, it's pretty much like, and I'm going to call it the hologram. This hologram of illusion has painted a picture that our body doesn't know how to take care of ourselves, that we don't know what's best for ourselves. Um, you know, and we really do. And our body, its job is to keep us safe, right? Its job is to protect us. Its job is to stay in homeostasis. So, if you're coming up against a lot of people, places, and spaces that are like aggressive or volatile or dismissive or labeling you, um, like a troublemaker or a disruptor or maybe even disrespectful, which that's a whole nother thing, but maybe just take it as a compliment because at this point in time, the people who don't know that their power comes from inside of themselves are literally like shaking in fear and anger and aggression because they see people like us who have claimed our sovereignty, who know that our power comes from within, and they don't know how to get there. So it comes out as anger. It's kind of just like jealousy. If you or someone else is jealous of a person, I guess Campbell says that's true. It's just because they see themselves in you, but they don't know how to get there. Ugh, dog. Hopefully he'll stop. Anyways, I'm gonna pull some cards, but just you guys just maybe plan ahead, try to be early, take more space when driving in traffic because it's very volatile right now. And it's okay to take up space, but it's also okay to not get caught up in that whole hustle, bustle, hurry. Maybe you're going to be late. I don't know. I think everything's just really speeding up and coming to a head because I don't know. I don't really know how to explain it, but I do feel like there's a good part of the collective that understands the way things truly are, that understands that each of us create our own subjective reality and we call in people, places, and spaces of like kind. But just like when water gets really hot and the molecules are doing this and it boils over, like that's what's happening in the collective right now. So it's very helpful to do your energy boundary work every morning, cleansing and clearing through all of your chakras, through your physical body, through your auric body, making your aura really big, visualizing like a bubble or a shield or whatever you want to do it, saying your mantras. My energy is my energy. I fill my energy with my energy. I build and maintain my energy in such a way that it sustains me and does not deplete me. And just don't argue with someone that just can't help themselves, right? Okay, so let's pull some cards. The first card is going to be from Astro Codes. I actually wonder, is there any new astrology aspects? New, I mean, because we got Chiron retrograde, Mercury retrograde, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune retrograde, And did I say Jupiter already? So all of these planets are retrograde, which could be revisit, but it's also really about going into core wounds and seeing ourselves clearly. And really, is your reference point the things outside of you or within you? Because if your reference point is external, then that means it's ego reference. Whereas if your reference point is inside of you, that's self reference. And that's, as far as I'm concerned, at this point, time and my consciousness and my perspective, that is the truth. Excuse me, I'm going to sneeze. Pardon me. Okay. And I'm trying to see, yeah, we got some oppositions. What is it? Yeah. So, or squares, excuse me. Square between Uranus and Mercury. Square, or excuse me, opposition between Pluto and Mars. Okay, so that's probably what it is. I'm not trying to laugh, but and I'll do the astrology after. So just geeking out, guys. Oh, thanks for the thumbs up, friend. I turn the comments off when I come on my computer, unless you've been a subscriber for 5 days, because people are asking me ridiculous questions that I'm not going to dignify with a response. This is my life. I get to say if I'm answering your silly questions or not. Where should we pull from? Okay, we'll just go with this guy first. Here's our first card. You guys take a look. Pretend like it's a lovely, tranquil pond, and you just decided to merge with the pond water and let this card, or this card's like a lovely robe that you're adorning. What does it feel like? What sense does it pull on? Does it pull on your mind, your heart, your solar plexus? Let's take a look. Oh, Neptune. And a 26, which is an 8. I feel like this has a lot to do with the poll that I did yesterday for the collective. It's basically like all of us who are just really kind of like sick of being bamboozled and sick of being told that our energy comes from outside of us, when we know in our deepest knowing inside ourselves. I really wanted this to just stay. That our energy, or excuse me, our power comes from within. So this is a 26, which reduces to an 8. So this would be all about karma, cycles, endings. Where in your life are you not free? Because Neptune is very free. In fact, Neptune needs boundaries. Neptune rules Pisces. And the 12th house, that's all about vision. So I would say, in the spirit of everything that I just said, with all of the volatility going out there, just hold your vision. You don't have to say anything. You don't have to argue with anyone. You don't have to react when people are acting crazy in traffic. And literally, like I went to Trader Joe's at 10 a.m. here, and it was like, I think these people just need to fight somebody. Like everybody's just so angry. And I feel like the people who don't understand where their power comes from are just angry because they don't know what the heck's going on. So clinging to your comfort zone, if that's something you're doing, then you're living from ego. You're not living from sovereignty. You're not living from self-power. And SHIT is about to get real. And it's going to feel like your life is falling apart all around you. And I'm not trying to be like doom and gloom, because the answer is literally just look inside yourself, sit in silence. Stop watching TV, stop watching movies, stop watching TV shows, pick up a book, go out into nature. And I'm not saying that TV or news is bad, but I'm saying if you are angry and if you feel like life is happening to you, that's because you haven't realized that you're sovereign. And you got to let that SHIT go, because it's not coming with you. And you get to decide, am I going to stay in my comfort zone, or am I going to step into my power? Because those are two different things. And it's super scary, but it's super empowering when you are in your power. But your biggest ally right now is holding true to your vision, holding your center strong. All right, let's find the next card. I don't come on like this, but oh man, just what is going on? I'm so thankful for the communities that I have here. Are like safe spaces because we all need a safe space where we can be ourselves and where we can be around someone who might misunderstand us because not everybody thinks the same thoughts. Thankfully, that's one thing I tell my son. Like that's the one thing that no one can take away from you is your own thoughts. You just have to be very vigilant and use your discernment to know, like, are you thinking your own thoughts or are you not? Someone very close to me went to an appointment and was expecting one type of appointment and got another type of appointment. And the medical professionals there started like being super judgmental and pretty much like bullying this person that I care about. Yeah. Wow. It's like these people who think that they can control others, they are not living in integrity. And, you know, when your illusion starts to crumble, it can make you pretty angry. So don't be that guy or girl. Here's the next card. I'm gonna try not to look because I like it when you guys can just get whatever comes to you. If it comes in through your intuition, maybe you have a knowing, maybe you hear something, because yes, there's such thing as being clairaudient. That has nothing to do with being some type of a medical diagnosis. Maybe you can smell something or taste something. Maybe you feel it in your heart. Maybe you feel it in your solar plexus. Maybe it feels like your throat is being squeezed or constricted, so you can feel it in your expression. All right, what is it? The whale, upside down. What do we know about whales? They're cetacea, so they're said to be higher dimensional beings that are on this earth with us to I don't know, to show us something. And if you look into a whale's eye, it's like mystifying and magical and can give you all these downloads and insights about things. But I feel like I'm just gonna do this again because I like that. What do we know about water? It flows. Okay. Whales live in the water. Whales breathe in the water. Um, and where in your life are you swimming upstream? Where in your life have you built a dam? Where are you shutting your life force off? And I'm feeling like you're not actually doing it to yourself. I think it's like a boundary. It's because I see like a person like trying to swim, but they're being restricted by a rope that's tied around their waist. But you're the person who can untie that rope and let it. You have to enforce your boundaries. That's why starting off energetically with the boundaries is good. And then, enforcing them throughout the day. And that can look like a lot of different things. Actually, for the first time ever, came across this person on Instagram and they're a boundary coach. And I was like, that's really cool. Because, every generation has its own set of challenges. And I feel like from personal experience, I am a Gen X and my parents are boomers. Lovely. Don't you love labeling things like this? But I don't feel like my parents were taught boundaries. And this is nothing to be like mean to them or anything like that, because their parents had a whole lot of real stuff to deal with that didn't have anything to do with boundaries. Their parents had to worry about where their next meal was coming from, if they're going to be safe, getting deployed into wars in other countries, right? So it's okay. That's why we're here. The sensitive ones are coming more and more online. And the people who are insensitive just really don't know themselves. They don't have a clean and clear aura. They don't have planet status. There might be something else besides a dwarf planet, but something that's like, because when you're a dwarf planet, I feel like you're at least cognizant of the fact that you have limiting beliefs and subconscious programs that are going that you no longer resonate with. And then, of course, when you're a planet, it's when you've moved those things out of your energy. um, so boundaries are huge, So I feel like my generation and my generation, I feel like we're really meant to kind of understand boundaries. And then, of course, we know Gen Zs are all about calling out the bamboozlement, calling out all these outdated structures of control that are just not for everyone. They're non-inclusive. They're separating in nature, and of course, polarity is kind of the deal. Being on Earth, that's one of the given things about being on Earth is that there is polarity. But that's why we have coherence, is because polarity is fine because it just makes us different. Because if we were all the same, I don't really know if anything would flow. Because just like there's cycles, just like there's seasons, right? But it's okay to be like, I understand that that person over there doesn't like the color purple, but purple is my favorite color. I'm not going to be upset that they don't like purple. Just like if, your best friend likes cake and you like frosting, well, hot diggity dog, then I get to eat all the frosting and you can have the cake because I could care less. It's kind of like that's what I'm trying to say. It's okay for people to be different. They're supposed to be, but it doesn't mean we need to fight each other about it. All right, this is our next card. All right, so this kind of makes sense. So, if you know anything about galactic history, the Orion Wars, 8 plus 3 would be 11, which would reduce to 2. So, again, I feel like this is more about polarity. So, there's just going to be things that have to play out. And just because things are happening, kind of like with an empath, just because you can feel their pain doesn't mean it's your responsibility to heal it. Just because there's a lot of SHIT going on out there doesn't mean you need to get involved. Of course, if there's something you can do and you want to, then do it. But if that's not your dharma, if you don't have the means to do something, then you can hold the vision. And it's interesting because I guess there's some movie coming out that I saw on Reddit and it's called Thoughts and Prayers. And I don't really like the fact that, how do I explain this? Do people realize that by attacking thoughts and prayers, that they're actually like arguing against what they want? Now, it's one thing for someone to just say thoughts and prayers and not care. But do you understand that literally everything in physical existence is basically the material manifestation of a thought and a prayer? Because a thought and a prayer is manifestation. A manifestation starts energetically. It starts with the thought. It starts with the feeling combining with the thought and transforming into a thought form. And then it takes a while to come into tangible physical fruition. So if people are saying mockingly like that thoughts and prayers don't work, they're fighting against their own agenda. Like everyone has a different dharma. If your dharma is boots on the ground and you have a lot of fire energy or earth energy in your chart, great. But if you're someone who's very visionary and very heart and mind centered, then thoughts and prayers are literally your bag baby. So, anyways, that was a tangent, but there's just going to have to be stuff that has to be played out. And I'm arguing against the rhetoric or whatever that movie is talking crap about us over here who are the visionaries, because I'm not necessarily taking it personal, but I am saying that they're wrong because thoughts and prayers do work. It's not a cop out. All right. Balanced relationships. That's 2 8s, which could be 16, which could be 7. So we could think of double karma. We could think of the 2 sides of karma. We could also think of 16, which would be 7, which would be divine truth. Balanced relationship. So it's like, this is the past, the stuff that we're seeing playing in the hologram. Wealth is not finite. Abundance is not finite. It's not a pie that if I take one slice, there's less for everyone else. That is bamboozlement. That is holographic illusion. It's like saying, I don't want to be healthy because if I'm healthy, then there's less health to go around for the rest of the world. Abundance is an energy. Okay. So let this SHIT play out because it's already over. Like the powers that were is what people have been calling it for years now. All that stuff is over, but the dust has to settle. So just let it play out. Do what you need to do. If you have a lot of fire or earth energy, then go do your jams. Go, volunteer, travel across the world, help people wherever you feel called to help people. But if you're, um, more of a visionary, like you have a lot of Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, like we're the visionaries. We're the ones who are supposed to hold the vision and feel it because that's our work. Let it play out because that's the past. It's already ended. It just has to play out. And then this one is telling you your divine truth is that the relationships are going to balance. I want to pull one last card from Toth. Maybe if I can find my Toth deck. Hello, darling. Where are you? Oh, of course it's right here because I was looking for it. I love all my decks, but my Toth deck doesn't sugarcoat anything. It gives it to you real. So let's see. Your imagination is your superpower. Use it for good. If you're going into fear, calm your nervous system. Do not make decisions from fear. Fear can override your free will. Fear and bamboozlement are really a lot of the same type of energy right now. And a lot of times fear just comes in because the human template doesn't know how to organize something that's new. So it gets processed as fear. And I think that that's kind of like in our DNA. So that's why I call it like a template or like a default setting, right? And we have to like turn it off. All right, here's the next one. I'm not going to look at this yet. I can't see it, I promise. Oh, Mariska, I didn't even see your comment. I miss you so much. You can email me if you want to chat, rocketsciencewellness@gmail.com. I can't do Telegram, Signal. I think there was another one that I had. I had too many apps and I was like, my energy was going all over the place. I'm so happy that you were here, or maybe you still are here. I miss you so much. All right, what is this card? Let's see. And actually, Mariska, I've been thinking about you so much because there's this new person that I found on Instagram and I love her content. In fact, she has this like greenhouse where I think she lives in the UK. That's what the vibe is that I get from her. But she has this greenhouse. Okay. She has this greenhouse where she does all of her art. And anyways, her energy is so much like yours. And I just love her. And I miss all of you guys so much. Okay. So what is this card? Let's see. Okay, so I feel like this is another one of those cards. It's a 10. It's so a 10 goes to 1. So this is saying the war is in your mind. The war is in your mind. Because 10 is 1, so that's you. And it's swords, which is your mind. Your mind can play tricks on you. Let's pull a happy card because we're gonna pull a Buddha Doodles. Da, 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 da. Yeah, art and gardening are two things that I would like to immerse myself in more. So the lady that had the greenhouse, I was just like, I want that. Ollie brought home 2 seeds from school that they propagated with like the paper towels. And so we planted them in 2 different pots in the backyard and we've been nurturing them. So I'm excited. I don't even know what they are. So we'll see. All right, here we go, guys. This is the one that we're going to end on because we want to end on a happy note. Yeah. So get out into nature because all this heavy stuff, and look at 3 ducks. Like, come on. 3, I always think of coherence where 2 different polarities can exist at the same time. In your Zen moment, you can just look at them without being attached to either one and allow them both to exist and just remain in your relaxed field of coherence where everything magnetizes to you because you are in your center. And then you got ducks, folks. Be a duck. Let it roll off your feathers. Yes, nature surprises. So I love you so much. Thank you for coming on. Mwah. And yeah, connect, email me, or maybe I'll email you because I think, well, no, I don't think I have your, I'll look. But yeah, rocketsciencewellness@gmail.com. I would love to talk to you again, Mariska, and maybe we could do a Zoom or something. All right. Thank you guys for coming on. Thank you, Mariska. Mwah. Just keep your head above water. Realize life is happening for you. And if you don't know what to do, be a duck, go into nature, and realize that, we are a part of the earth. So, love you all. Have a good day. Happy Friday.